Friends, imagine some of your family member is suffering to the core. He or she is in totally vegetative state and in coma for years and unable to die. In Harish Rana case, Supreme Court has finally given a very historical verdict with certain notes saying that everybody has right to live with dignity, number one, and everybody has right to die with dignity. So therefore, Harish Rana has been granted the right to die with dignity. In addition to that, Supreme Court has given many other important critical judgments, but we will be presenting you very selective one, including number one, problem with Khudavas library of buying rupee 1. Library was bought by government at rupee 1, which is Supreme Court has rejected it outrightly, saying it is not done. At the same time, we will also discuss about Evidence Act, where the call detail records are produced. What are the basic requirements which Supreme Court has jotted down? We will also cover how Supreme Court has given direction to the government about COVID victims' right for compensation, especially when there is death or irreparable loss to the health. Similarly, my friends, we will also cover problem with AI citations, which Supreme Court is telling every time and again, and writing to the government as well as to Bar Council of India, appealing to the community as well as giving warnings that please stop doing fake citations. It is not done. My friends, with this, we will cover all these points through my clone AI in detail. Please go through the video till last and do share your comments and subscribe to our channel, my friends. Thanks for your time.
Today, the Supreme Court sent strong signals on dignity, public accountability, judicial integrity, state power, and digital evidence. These were not routine courtroom moments. The bench dealt with questions that affect families, health policy, legal ethics, property rights, and criminal justice itself. Let's begin with the most emotionally significant development at the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court allowed the withdrawal of life support for Harish Rana, who has remained in a permanent vegetative state since 2013. This is being seen as the first individual passive euthanasia order under the court's right to die with dignity framework. The significance goes far beyond one case. The court is recognizing that dignity is not limited to survival alone. In irreversible medical situations, the law must also confront suffering, family burden, and the ethics of prolonged artificial support. This order could become an important reference point for future end-of-life cases in India. But the court's focus today did not stop at dignity. It then turned to another issue with direct impact on ordinary families: COVID vaccine adverse events. In a major direction, the Supreme Court asked the Union government to frame a no-fault compensation policy for serious adverse events following COVID-19 vaccination. The key message is clear. Affected families should not be forced into long legal battles to prove negligence before they can even seek relief. That matters because it shifts the conversation from blame to responsibility. In a mass public health program, the system cannot ask injured families to carry the full burden alone. The court appears to be pushing for a more humane and accessible response. From public health accountability, the bench moved to a concern that cuts to the core of the justice system itself: AI-generated fake citations. The Supreme Court continued to treat fake AI-generated precedents as a serious threat to judicial integrity. The concern is obvious. Courts depend on trust that the cases being cited are real, and that legal submissions are professionally verified. If fabricated citations enter pleadings or arguments, the damage is not merely technical. It can distort judicial reasoning and weaken public confidence in the system. The court's message is sharp. Technology may assist lawyers, but it cannot replace verification and ethics. At the same time, the court also drew a line against arbitrary state action. The Supreme Court quashed Bihar's attempt to acquire the Khuda Bakhsh Oriental Library for token compensation of Revan. The ruling is important because compensation cannot be merely symbolic when constitutional rights and institutional values are at stake. The broader principle is simple. State acquisition must be fair, real, and legally justified. The government cannot use formal legality to mask substantive unfairness. And finally, the court ended the day with an important reminder from criminal law. Procedure protects fairness. The Supreme Court held that call detail records cannot be relied upon without the mandatory Section 65B certificate under the Evidence Act. In an era where criminal cases increasingly depend on electronic material, this ruling reinforces that digital evidence must still satisfy statutory safeguards. That matters because weak proof standards can directly affect the sustainability of prosecutions and convictions. So these were today's major Supreme Court headlines. Taken together, they show a court dealing with some of the most difficult questions in law: when dignity should prevail in medical hopelessness, how compensation should work without forcing impossible burdens, how AI must be restrained by ethics, how state power must remain constitutional, and how digital evidence must still obey legal rules. Since right to die has high emotional impact in society, share your view if Supreme Court was right in allowing a person to die with dignity. Write your answer in the comments and subscribe to KanoonPlus for more high-impact legal headlines.